Welcome to your Taurus horoscopes for the week ending May 25th, which means Taurus season is officially over this week. The sun, I should say, not the moon, the sun is officially moving on to Gemini. And that's not the only news. Jupiter is so close, so close. Right now, the bulk of the planets are actually in Taurus at the beginning of the week when the sun is still there. Because we have the sun, we have Jupiter, we have Venus, we have Uranus, we have Mercury. There's really only 4 or 5 other planets left. It's almost half, basically, or about half, because we're kind of at an odd number of planets there. So this has actually been a really good thing because they're all lining up to be extremely helpful in terms of your career goals, especially because they're all still in a grand sextile with Pluto, which is still focused on your day-to-day schedule, but we also have Neptune, which is focused on money. So things are really coming together. It's like you're putting all of your time and energy into where do I need to go to get that money, which is good. My only caution on that is remember just to sit back and remember that that's not what life is all about. I know it's so difficult. I have to remind myself of this a lot because I always feel guilty when I'm not working. And of course, we're in an environment these days where everything, inflation is just so crazy. And that kind of fuels us to be constantly focused on making that money all the time. But we still need to be true to us too. And we still need to take a break, reconnect with our families, reconnect with ourselves. It's really, really important. And we do have a couple of sticky days this week. It starts on Tuesday as the moon moves into opposition with Mercury. And what's interesting is Mercury is the only planet in Taurus that's really, really focused on long-term goals. So with the moon's placement in how you think, this really sort of creates one of those sticky situations where things are going, getting to be a little bit challenging, and your brain wants to automatically go to, of course, this isn't going to work and it's not going to happen and I'm going to fail miserably and wah, 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 wah. As we move into Wednesday, though, it gets even more complicated as the moon does move out of that opposition with Mercury, but moves into opposition with every other planet in Taurus. And all of those planets are focused on career. So, there's two things here. First of all, life is never devoid of challenge. Okay. There's always an obstacle, there's always something that comes up. Now, with that being said, there's also always beautiful things and miracles and just these things that happen that you really can't explain that make you all warm and fuzzy inside. So the moon kind of comes in and is trying to emotionally drag you down, like just make it to the point where the stress is so much for you that you just can't take it anymore. You can't cope with it anymore. It's too much. But then you also have to realize if I leave this, if I walk away from this, the stress is just going to come back somewhere else. And it's just going to keep coming back somewhere else. And the whole point is being a Taurus, you got to face it head on always, because once you face it head on and you can, you know how bulls are, they just bam right with their little horns right into it and move on, and then you can celebrate it afterwards. And if you were to run away from it and continue to run away from these situations, then what are you going to celebrate? We celebrate our successes and not necessarily the fact that we're running away from something. So, little bit of a challenge there just for a couple of days, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the moon moves on and things continue as they are, which is very favorable. Everything is just sort of trucking along at this point. So, two things about that. One, all of that energy going into your career plans, going into making that money. I said it in the beginning, I'm going to say it again. Burnout is a thing. And just to give you a little bit of a heads up, Mars is going to be coming into Taurus, not like now, not like tomorrow, not even this week, but within the next few weeks. It's in Aries, it moves pretty quickly, it is inevitable. And this is the perfect recipe for a burnout. So put those meditation practices, self-care practices, balance practices in to your schedule now, because it might just be too late before Mars just comes on in and railroads right over you, and it would be a shame to lose that momentum. So that's what I have for you guys this week. I'm Melissa Bruce, a heavy metal psychic. I will see you guys next week. And in the meantime, make it a great week. I'm really excited for you guys. There's a lot going on, a lot of really good stuff. And that little stuff, don't even worry about that little stuff. Don't sweat the petty things. That's what I like to say. Make it a great week. I'll see you next week.